All right, let's talk about Tennessee's class real quick. We're trying to get Hunter from Rocky Top Talk on, but we talk about Khalil McKenzie, and just a big dude, not a fat dude, carries the weight very well. But Shai Tuttle, Alvin Kamara, the JC guy coming in.
Loaded class.
Obviously, Drew Richmond, who should be able to come in and at least compete. It's still a young offensive line for Tennessee, but these are guys that are going to be able to come in, and it gives them, especially with how well they finished their season, the depth that they need to compete week in and week out.
Khalil McKenzie, we already spoke about. Preston Williams, some people have him as the #1 overall receiver in the country. I think regardless of where you have him, he's certainly a top 5 guy. Nice size, good football savvy. Kyle Phillips is a defensive end pass rusher who really came on strong during his senior year. Some guys take a little while longer to develop. He was one of them, dominated in his All-Star game. Shai Tuttle out of North Carolina, another dominant big body on the inside for them. And then Alvin Kamara, who originally signed, remember 2 years ago when we did this, and Alabama signed those 4 running backs who were all blue chippers, and people were like, how are they all going to get carries? And, well, they didn't. They didn't get carries.
They didn't get those
carries. So
carries.
one ended up in junior college, and then he ended up doing really, really well in junior college, and now he's at Tennessee and should get a lot of carries there early. Is a nice compliment to Jalen Hurd. Nice pass receiver out of the backfield, could be a good third down back. A little thunder and lightning combo for the Tennessee Vols.
Immediate impact. All right, we're now joined by Hunter from Rocky Top Talk on the SB Nation Network. Hunter, how are you feeling about the class? I assume it's a nice cherry on the way that the Vols ended the season. Who are the names that you expect that everybody outside of the SEC East to know that will be donning a lot of orange come the fall?
Well, it's actually really interesting here. I mean, one of the big things that happened with signing day this year is that what didn't happen, right? So the Vols had a lot of guys committed. They enrolled a lot of guys early. And the teams that came after the guys they were looking at on signing day didn't flip. So Ohio State was looking at a guy named Vinzel Bulware. Ole Miss was really in on a 5-star guy out of Memphis, an offensive tackle that I'm sure Bud is very familiar with, Drew Richmond. And, of course, Khalil McKenzie, he had the advantage being a legacy recruit. But Khalil McKenzie, I mean, he's a 5-star defensive tackle, one of the best players in the entire country, and he stuck with Tennessee all the way through. So, really, this was sort of the opposite of some of the previous Vol signing days where guys went other directions and, you know, the fans sort of had that bad taste in their mouth of impending doom as the day went on.
All right, the Tennessee roster and depth chart, obviously very young, but where do you see, name-wise, guys getting opportunities come this fall?
Well, there's 2 main positions. And, you know, when you talk about adding recruiting class, you can really talk about flash or you can talk about the substance. And Butch Jones really went out and got the beef there. So on the defensive line, you're looking at defensive tackle. Tennessee loses one of the 2 starters. It's a very thin depth chart there, and you've got a guy, like I said, Khalil McKenzie is going to come in. You have another 5-star originally rated recruit out of North Carolina, Shai Tuttle. He's another huge defensive lineman. He's something like 6'3", 330 pounds right out of high school. Now, the Vols didn't start a single defensive lineman last year, more than 300 pounds. And these are guys who've been on campus for a while. So on the other side of the ball, on offensive line, you're looking at 2 big guys again. You're looking at Drew Richmond, who flipped from Ole Miss, and you're looking at Jack Jones, who's from right outside of Nashville. He's a local boy. So those 2 inside of Tennessee guys, both tackles. Tennessee had extreme trouble last year running the ball. They lost all 5 starters off of the 2013 line. And so they just really couldn't get any push last year. And so you're looking at, you know, throwing in a Jack Jones as a 4-star tackle, throwing in a Drew Richmond as a 5-star tackle. Even if those guys don't start, they're going to push the guys ahead of them to make them better. And that's just very exciting for Tennessee fans.
Makes sense. Hunter, thank you very much for joining us. Tennessee certainly adds to not just obviously SEC East, but SEC depth in general. The SEC West had the regular season, struggled late. SEC East didn't have their moments during the regular season, finished strong. It looks like we're looking at a much more complete conference as a whole with, you know, Terry Beckner adding to the talent level in Mizzou, with Tennessee adding everybody. They should be able, because honestly, if you're going to win in the SEC, it starts with offensive and defensive line depth.
And James Franklin got out of Vanderbilt at the right time.
Yes.
Because those schools are smashing Vanderbilt's glass slipper.
That is absolutely true.